Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to impartially break down a deeply fascinating essay and the foundational teachings of the guide Xu Feng, the founder of Life Chen Wan. His text, titled The All-Rounder's Sorrow, presents a really sharp, uncompromising critique of our modern work culture. It challenges the very way we structure our days, our careers, and basically our lifelong pursuits. By looking strictly at the source material, we're going to map out exactly how Xu Feng defines the tragedy of modern survival and what he proposes as the ultimate utopian solution.
Okay, let's dive right in with a direct question straight from the source text that really challenges the paths we're all on. Ask yourself honestly right now, are you doing what you like or are you just surviving? Seriously, think about your daily routine. Is the job you do your absolute favorite thing? Are you truly, naturally good at it? Or is it kind of just a means to an end? Xu Feng bases his entire philosophy around this exact tension, noting that for the vast majority of mankind, the answer is heavily skewed toward mere survival.
Section 1. The All-Rounder's Sorrow. The Myth of the Modern Genius. Now, the guy Xu Feng points out something pretty fascinating here. Sure, there are a few people out there in the human race who are natural all-rounders. You know the type. They understand everything, they can do everything, they are genuine geniuses. But, and this is a massive but, that leaves out about 99.9% of us. For the rest of the population, trying to become an all-rounder requires an immense, absolutely exhausting amount of time and energy to study, to apprentice, and to practice. We simply don't have the natural capacity to effortlessly master everything.
His crucial point is exactly this. Life is short, but principles and skills are unlimited. Because our lifespan is strictly limited, forcing ourselves to become proficient at every single skill out there is basically an impossible, exhausting task. Xu Feng actually compares our talents to our physical looks. We are all inherently different, right? It's impossible to make yourself look exactly like everyone else. So why on earth do we expect our skill sets to perfectly mirror everyone else's? According to the text, giving total commitment strictly to your own natural strengths is the best choice you can make for the journey of life.
And this brilliantly illustrates the tragedy of human society according to the guide. Just think about your own daily grind, that typical 9 to 5. Because of the sheer laws of survival in our society, most people are passively doing jobs they simply aren't good at. Their true, authentic nature cannot flourish. Instead, they are forced to engage in work they fundamentally dislike, bouncing between a variety of different roles, all in this highly pressured attempt to become a jack of all trades just to keep their heads above water. Most people are passively surviving, completely burying their true strengths just to pay the bills. It's like society sets up this completely impossible expectation. On one hand, we're told to be proficient in a million different things, while somehow simultaneously being the absolute best in our specific field. But Xu Feng points out the harsh reality here. Attempting to learn everything means we end up lacking one true professional skill. We can do a lot of things, sure, but we are proficient in none. We're a master of none. We might know everything, but we understand nothing thoroughly. And even worse, the text notes that by forcing ourselves to constantly study and practice things we aren't naturally suited for, we sacrifice the opportunity to actually enjoy life. We end up achieving nothing great, exhausted from struggling to survive, and ultimately losing our confidence and our longing for a better future.
Section 2. The Tide of Society, Swept Along by the Current.
Xu Feng asks us to reflect on our jobs and our passions with one very simple question. Did we choose it ourselves? If you evaluate the work you're doing today, did you truly, honestly select it out of joy? For the vast majority of people across the globe, the source text concludes that the answer to this question is a resounding, absolute no. The text paints this picture of absolute helplessness. We are, as Xu Feng writes, like a drop of water being propelled forward by the tide of society. He argues that regardless of your specific social system, regardless of your personal degree of freedom or the range of work you can choose from, we are all pushed forward by these massive societal expectations. We can't truly choose for ourselves. Whether we like it or not, basic survival dictates our actions.
Ultimately, Xu Feng states that this isn't just an individual sorrow. It is a profound sorrow for all mankind. We're dedicating our existence merely to basic survival. As the text puts it, most people are always passive and helpless. They work not to live, but primarily just to survive.
Section 3. A Guide's Personal Struggle, Xu Feng's 20-year journey.
To really ground this philosophical critique, Xu Feng shares his own experiences, and they are astonishingly relatable. Over more than 20 years living abroad, he bounded through more than 20 distinct professions, just running around trying to survive on his own.
I mean, from working as a shepherd and a farmer to a power generation worker and a fitter. He was an accountant, a statistician, a teacher, a translator, a salesman, a manager, a cook, a cleaner, and even a civil servant and a small boss. He was swept up in the tide of the times, forced to do this or that just to get by.
And it wasn't just the professional roles. Beyond the official jobs, he was forced to handle every single exhausting domestic chore, too. He was acting as his own plumber and handyman out of sheer necessity. He was fixing leaking water pipes, patching roofs, unblocking sewers, doing all the purchasing, and handling all these trivial matters completely alone. He actually notes that the only time he was ever engaged in work he truly liked and was good at was when he lived in what he calls the second home.
What's really powerful about this admission is its deep humility. Despite doing all of those jobs, the guide simply refers to himself as a sad all-arounder, as a direct result of societal pressure. He writes, "Now it can be said that I am good at nothing, and nothing I did has reached a first-class level." It is this incredibly potent realization that doing everything literally means mastering nothing.
Section 4. The Second Home Solution. A proposed utopian mall.
So, how do you turn a tragic life into a comedy? This question acts as the perfect narrative pivot in Xu Feng's essay. It shifts us from the heavy agitation of the problem directly toward his proposed ultimate solution. How can everyone actually engage in a job they are good at? How can we get some leisure time to just play?
According to his teachings, Xu Feng found the answer while exploring heaven and hell, and it resulted in the concept of the second home. He describes it as a life pattern copied from the thousand-year world of heaven, brought right down to this earth. It's a specific place where everyone is allowed to choose a job they truly like and are genuinely good at, without needing to worry about anything else. Think about the contrast here. Mainstream society burdens you with absolutely everything. Supporting the elderly, raising children, cooking, washing up, and general survival. But the mechanics of the second home strip all that away. You choose one job you love, period. Because you are centralized in a community, all those domestic worries are handled by designated people who focus entirely on them. Everyone else is completely freed from the crushing burden of being an all-rounder.
So, what does an actual daily routine look like here? Step 1, you choose and perform the one job you like. Step 2, designated others handle the cooking, the cleaning, the caretaking. Step 3, after finishing what you are doing every day, the rest of your time is dedicated strictly to entertainment and play. Xu Feng describes this as what can truly be called a human life and asserts it is the most perfect way of life in the world.
The absolutely crucial takeaway from Zhiseng's philosophy is reclaiming our time to actually experience existence rather than just endlessly maintaining it. By giving up the expectation of being an all-rounder and relying on a structured community like the second home, humanity can finally enjoy the beauty of life and the true joy of living. We're going to leave you to ponder a final question directly from the guide. Do you want life to be simple, easy, full of joy, without worries and tains, and become a comedy? Take a second to reflect on your own daily grind and the immense pressure you face to be good at everything. If you are tired of merely surviving and want to experience what a truly joyful, focused life could look like, Xu Feng's concluding advice is uncompromisingly direct. Then go to the second home. Thank you for joining us for this explainer on modern survival and the teachings of Life Chen Yuan.